it can be challenging to keep our attention in the physical body, because when we start going in there, there's such a backload of stuff that we've stuffed down and that we aren't really used to, that we don't have the proficiency to really open to, that we haven't developed the presence to be with. And so as a result of shutting down the nervous system, one, it makes it less fun, less pleasurable to be in a physical body. And also it makes it much more likely that we tend to spend our lives living from the perspective of our minds and our conditioning, of our interpretations, of our kind of play-by-play evaluation of life. And so my hope with this course is to begin to show some ways, some paths towards turning all of this around, so that we begin to open up the body, we begin to open up the nervous system again in a way that feels safe, and in a way that encourages us to be in the process fully. One of the things, as I just mentioned, that happens when we begin to open ourselves up to the body, to sensation, is that oftentimes we will encounter feelings that are difficult for us, because, I mean, that's what we shut down against in the first place. And so this is where, one, doing this as a group and doing it with guidance and encouragement is really, really helpful. I'm sure many of you are familiar with perhaps thinking, oh, I'm going to start a meditation practice in the mornings. And we sit down, and as we begin to really become aware of what's actually going on in our system, again, we may not be conscious of this, but we may decide that meditation isn't for us because there's just so much stuff there. It's sort of like, you know, if you have a cottage that you haven't visited in years, you know, and maybe things have piled up over the generations. Maybe it's a cottage you've had in your family for a long time, and for whatever reason you weren't able to go there for several years. It's, you know, to be expected that when you open that door, there's going to be all kinds of stuff in there that's going to have to be cleaned up in order to make it livable, you know, whether it be dust or mice droppings or spider webs, or even just things that are just creating clutter. All of that is going to have to be done in order to have a space that's comfortable and pleasant to be in. And it's the same thing with our bodies. We need to find a way in which this house cleaning can happen. And actually, the truth is that the emotional, energetic, and nervous system house cleaning is actually wanting to happen all the time. It's happening right now. And so it's not so much that we have to make it happen. What I'm hoping more is that we find ways to cooperate with this beautiful clearing that our system is doing all the time. And it brings us experiences that help to show us exactly where the dust is settled, right? That helps to show us exactly where the spider webs are. All of the challenging experiences and the challenging energies and emotions that we encounter are actually showing us where that dust and spider webs and debris has settled in our body. And so the practices that I'll be sharing are about how to cooperate with the body's automatic clearing of these things. So it's actually in many ways takes less energy than cleaning up a cottage. In fact, the less energy we use, the more we relax, the more we can allow that natural process to occur. The understanding here is that the greatest force perhaps in our human lives is for the soul to express itself, is for the soul to shine through in its fullness. And everything that we encounter, everything that's in our lives right now, is dedicated to that. The main issue is that when we hear that, we think, well, then it should all be pleasant and beautiful and happy and light and whatnot. But again, as I've just explained, because so many things got packed down into our system, the process of revealing the radiance of the soul is going to bring up various feelings and emotions as the nervous system comes back online. And it's learning to trust that process that's going to be really important for all of us. And learning to practice. You know, this is something that we've unlearned our sensitivity maybe for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years. And so to relearn it, it takes time, it takes practice, it takes commitment. It takes maybe most importantly, a commitment to ourselves and to just our experience in this moment.